It happened. Since '08, my cousin Jaquay and I used to sit in the car for hours fantasizing about how we would act when we finally got to meet Drake. My best friend Josh and I would spend hours as well talking about how hype Drake would get us, and when we met him we'd be like, thank you bro, like you have no idea, you are the soundtrack to our lives, like you are that guy, you are our brother, like we consider Drake our big brother, hands down. You can't tell us nothing else. And don't get me started on my bestie Shahyla, okay? She is the only other Drake stan I know willing to drop a bag on the boy on a moment's notice, okay? Who's staying up with you until 2, 3 o'clock in the morning scrolling Twitter, Craigslist, Instagram, anything you can to find last minute Drake tickets to Coachella and ready to go in 2 hours? Who is it? It's Young Lie, baby. So, after 15 years, for a very brief moment, but it was monumental to me, all of that delusion finally turned into manifestation. Now, if you've never met a Drake stan before, hello, my name is Tommy Russell Jr. This is my channel Ragtime Presents, where the road trip never ends, and also where Drake can do no wrong, okay? I've been listening to Drake since Brand New was my MySpace song. I was there in '08 here in Dallas when Wayne announced that Wheelchair Jimmy was going to be signing to Young Money. I've been to every headlining tour Drake has had for a solo album. The first being Light Dreams and Nightmares in 2010 on Halloween here in Dallas. I went to Club Paradise in 2012 twice. Once in New Orleans and then once here again in Dallas. I went to Would You Like a Tour in 2013 back in LA. I went to Coachella in 2015. I was at Summer 16 tour in LA in 2016. I went to Aubrey and the Three Migos tour in 2018 twice. Once here in Dallas and once back in LA. So when we get to this tour, you can see why Aubrey himself would say, it's all a blur. Now, before I start to sing the praises of this tour and of Drake and how amazing this show was and how life-changing it was and all that good stuff, I got one huge beef with the tour and with you, Drake. Why the fuck am I turning up in an arena? Why the fuck am I turning up in an arena? Okay, you call it It's All a Blur. Right? We know who you are. Okay? You the boy. We went through the space-time continuum. We looking up at the UFO because it's out of this world what you've accomplished. Okay? And we're still turning up in an arena? In the same spaces as Doja and SZA? And I use these women because I love them so much, and because I truly, if you follow me at this point, you know I love me some Doja, hands down. But I'm just saying, from a pure numbers aspect, it makes sense why they're performing in arenas. But Drake, you've been doing those numbers consistently for over a decade, and you're only getting bigger. You're up there with Beyonce, with The Weeknd, with Taylor Swift, with whoever else is doing stadium tours. Hell, you said it yourself. Bad Bunny numbers, it's a robbery, 500 million just for Aubrey. And so I'm not understanding why the fuck we're still in an arena. Now, maybe you got an explanation. Maybe somebody out there has an explanation. Please help me understand. I've done the math. I've really tried to figure it out, and it's not clicking. But who am I, right? But I don't think we came this far just to come this far and be turning up in the T-Mobile Arena. I need to be blowing the top off the Allegiant Stadium, okay? Now, I'm not sure if this is your last tour, which I don't think it is. So I'm just saying, the next solo tour that we have, I need to be stepping into a stadium. I need to be fighting for stadium seats, okay? Because, you too big and too grown to be playing in that arena, okay? Beyonce did the numbers. She did record-breaking numbers in the stadium recently. So I don't really know, and I have kind of an idea as to why you don't do stadium tours yet, but we got to get there, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But yeah. The next tour, I need to be stepping up in a stadium, okay? Sound good? Okay, I'm done. On to the review. Now, y'all, the merch, Drake, you did your thing. You did your thing, and not necessarily on the product of the merch, even though there was some cute things. I say the fact that there were about 9 to 10 merch stands at the venue, great. Thank you. We appreciate it. When you first walk up outside of the arena, there were two merch stands right across from each other. When you walk in through the piazza or the plaza downstairs, there was a merch stand right in front of you. You walk upstairs to the first section, there was two merch stands, one right there and then one around the corner. These lines are crazy, okay? Then you go up to the next level in the 100s. There were two merch stands up there. Lines were crazy. Then you go upstairs to the next level, the 200s. That line was crazy. There were just lines on lines on lines on lines on lines. And if I'm being honest, I liked the merch. It was cool. Like, not even cool. I do like the merch. The one piece that I really wanted, the Pt.1 one, he stopped selling it. Like, he stopped making it. So I didn't really get that one. But the pieces that I did get, like this one and then this one, you know, with the bras, because, you know, lost and found. That's cute. That's cute. Right, right, right. Can you see it? There we go. I like them. I do like them. I think maybe there could have been more, a little more creativity, but like it is what it is. Like, but seeing those lines, baby, I was not about to wait in them lines. Not at all. So I was gonna take the L, and I was just gonna be like, oh well, won't be able to get the merch. And then I thought to myself, why don't I take my own advice? The same advice I give y'all, which is go to the merch line in the middle of the show. Okay? If you've heard your favorite songs or whatever, go. And so since I had already seen Drake 9 times at this point, like there was nothing that I was really missing. So I decided to leave, like, you know, just in the midst of everything when he was playing his throwback songs. I left, went in the merch line. I was in the line no longer than 10 minutes, if that. If I'm really being honest, I think I was in the line like 5 minutes, and that's including purchasing time. So I say 10 just because, no, because they had my sizes, everything. Yeah, I really think it was 5 minutes, y'all. No line at all. Like, it was just boom, boom, boom. I want to say there were maybe like 4 or 5 people in front of me, and it was good to go. So I'm telling you right now, if the merch lines are long before, you might as well just go in the middle of the show if you didn't make it early enough to get in them lines. Personally, I'm not waiting in them because they were wrapped. You see it? You saw it. Them lines are wrapped around. And if you think I'm waiting, no. And I would have missed my moment anyway. So I'm glad I didn't wait. I was smart for that. But yeah, the merch is cool. As you see, the other products that he had a pair of sweats. They were affordable too. Like, well, the sweats, those were like $100. The women were kind of like, one woman said 100, another woman said 120. So I don't know. I didn't get them. But my two shirts alone, 45 for this one. And let me give you a look at this one. It says, I like what Drake likes. Okay. And then on the back is what looks to be, honestly, he looks like DJ Khaled. Okay. And then it's all a blur, 2023, and then DJ Khaled playing golf. I'm convinced it's DJ Khaled. Okay, I'm convinced. But yeah, so the merch was cool. I recommend it. I think that, like, if you haven't gone to the show yet, like, pick you up some merch. I'm just saying, go in the middle of the show. Now, when I did go in the middle of the show, he did give away $50,000 because a dude was holding up his sign and he was like, "Yo, I forego, or I like spent my furniture money on your tickets, like tickets to be here." And so Drake gave him $50,000. I would love to hear from that man. Did you get your 50,000? Was it in cash or a check? Zelle? Can he Zelle that? I believe. I mean, hey, I just want to know if he got his money. So yeah, I thought the merch was cool. I would recommend it for anybody. $45, like I say, a piece for my shirt, so $90 with tax, $97 each. So the merch was a go. I'd give the merch a solid 8. A solid 8. I think maybe there could have been just some more products. He did have some phone cases. Like I said, he had the sweats. He had his poetry book. And then, you know, the apparel. But I think that maybe there could have been a little more, you know. But it is what it is. So that's why I say I give it a solid 8. I give the merch an 8. And the merch lines, that alone, could even boost it up to a 9 just because you had so many merch lines. So kudos to you for that. Yeah, merch was cool. And I'll say too, with the merch, everybody in Vegas was wearing Drake merch. So I might have to say that the merch is a 10. I think I got to go with 10. I think I got to go with a 10 because everybody in Vegas was wearing Drake merch. everybody. I couldn't go anywhere without saying it's a 10. It's a 10. The merch is a 10. The merch is a 10. I didn't think about that. I had to come back. I had to come back. I had to come back real quick because it dawned on me. I was looking at the footage and I was like, I like that shirt. I like the shirt. You know what? It's a 10. It's a 10. You don't know how many of these. How many of these I saw. This is the front, by the way. This is all it says on the front. But, and I want to say the coloring and the detail to these bras, is actually pretty good. But everybody was wearing Drake merch. We were at Bacchanal Buffet. Bacchanal Buffet and Caesars. Random. We were all the way in the back, sitting. And I saw a group of people at a table wearing the bra shirt. So I have to recant my statement. The merch is a 10. Merch is a 10. Merch is a 10. It's undeniable. The people are buying it. The people are buying it. If they didn't like it, if they wouldn't buy it. Okay? You wouldn't buy it if it was ugly. You wouldn't buy it. I think it's simple but still cute. A nice little tee you can wear around, and the quality is great. Yeah, I don't know. I'm tripping. I'm tripping. Here goes the Fandom. Here goes. At first I'm like, ah. Now I'm like, I don't know. I like the shirt. I like this shirt. I love him. I love him. So yeah, he had some other cute ones too, but I would have really liked the Peter Pan one. I really would have. I would have wanted that 21 Savage one. The 21 Savage, he had some good merch too. I'm not even gonna lie. There was one with a Jason mask on it. That one was dope. It was a white tee. But after spending $97 on these two altogether, I was just like, I'm good. I'm good on it. But it's a nice one. It's a nice one. So the 21 Savage merch was also good. But yeah, overall, yeah, 10. I'm giving the merch a 10. I'm back. I'm back. It's a 10. It's a 10. All right, y'all. Up next, we got set design. I am on the fence about the set design. And I know this sounds weird, but I guess because in 2018 for Aubrey and the Three Migos, it was kind of the same stage, except the stage in 2018 was bigger and it was just like a big rectangle, but it was the LED like screen type thing. I think that he did add some cool elements as far as like, even though people were on the floor and you can't see really, I don't think, over that, like where the top of the stage is because you're so low, but he had screens going around the perimeter. So you could actually watch the screens and see that away. So I thought that was dope. And some of them, like the cubes would come up and he would stand and rise on the cube. I thought that was cool. Oh, and he also had these robot arms that were really dope that he had for Massive and Sticky. I thought those things were so cool. Like, look at the way that they're shooting lasers, but they're moving and stuff. I thought those were all dope. Now, my favorite piece that he had, and I feel like everybody probably loved it because you just look at it and you ogle in like amazement. But it's the Virgil Abloh statue where he's throwing the plane. That piece is just it's amazing. And then when he does his dedication speech for Virgil, like, oh, yeah, and he plays the ride, and he has like, just take a look.
It's the younger generation that's going to carry the torch. That's that, but I don't read comments, I don't read reviews, I don't read anything positive. To me, the 17-year-old version of myself didn't think that this was possible. So every day that I'm able to sort of like make an idea and see it come out, it's amazing. It's a film. Yes. All right.
Yeah, so it's just something to marvel at, and it's so sweet and so beautiful. And the plane, that's the other piece. Like the plane flies through that Virgil created or designed for Drake. It's a marvel, yo. Like, it's just something to marvel. Now, just a little history on what that pose is and where he got that from. There's a photographer by the name of Chill Days. At least that's his Instagram handle. I think his real name is Boggy or Bogey. But he took this picture back in 2018 at Virgil's men's spring summer collection in Paris and for his 2019 collection. And so it was Virgil throwing the monogram plane down the runway and he took this picture of him. But overall, like, that piece was just so dope. I just have to say, like, production though, you know, we had a couple of, you know, Drake is infamous for his little firework pops. I feel like this though is exactly why he doesn't do stadium tours. I just don't think that it's big enough. I don't think that he does things big enough to really fill the stadium. And so I think that that is why he sticks to arenas, because he does have this way about him, which, you know what, now that we're now I'm starting to teeter into performance. So what I'm going to say is production, I'm going to give it I'm gonna give it a seven. I'm gonna give it no. I'm gonna give it an eight. I'm gonna give it an eight because it still is somewhat it's still somewhat like what he's already done. I will say too, the guy that comes up, the young man that plays Drake, I think is really cool. To move on to performance, y'all, it was hard. It was hard because after that moment I had with him, it was like nothing else could top it. And that is another thing that I have to think about when I'm really like gauging or ranking all of this, is like after that moment I had with him, like nothing else mattered. If I'm being honest with you, I could have left. I could have left and met up with my friends, and it was worth all $400 that I spent on that ticket. And yes, I said 400 because I bought it early. I told you the tickets are cheap. Well, I mean, not to say they're cheap, but cheaper, right? Because right now they're going for a rack where I sat. So yeah, I'm telling you, get them early. But I just have to say, like, I think that after that moment, it was such a high that like nothing else could top it. I think that I love Drake's performances because it's like being at a club and it's just like singing all my favorite songs, like I did with Josh or like I did with Jaquay. Like we just get him and we turn up to him. It could just be us and we're lit. Like he just gets us up. So to be at a concert and just be up with him performing, like that's really it. That's like all we need. And so I'm like, that's what he does. And I don't fault him for that. I love it. But I do think that there's a level of like stage presence or like what I think he needs to give in order to maybe capture a stadium. And I think again that ties into production as well. That makes me think that's why he doesn't necessarily perform at stadiums yet. But I know he can do it. I just know he could do it. I know he could do it. And one thing I will say about the performance too that kind of bothered me is that it was a lot of throwback, and it's called "It's All a Blur," right? So I knew we were going back in time, but I've seen them back in time 9 times already. And so I mean, how many projects have we had since 2018? At least five. At least five. You could be doing a tour with only songs you've made from 2019 or I guess 2018 since Scorpion on. Like you could do nothing else but that and everybody would be so hype. Like it would be everything. And I would love to know because I did so much searching. I've been trying to find out who his creative director is. There's a couple names of people that I've noticed are a part of his team that I wonder if they're a part of it. But I couldn't get a clear stamp on who the creative director was. So if y'all know, if anybody knows, please let me know. But I want to see something different. I remember at Coachella when he was sitting up in like the what song was it? These days, I'm gonna go to my house. I can't remember the song. But he's up in like a tree forest situation, and he's sitting there, and the fire's going, and he's right behind it. That to me was something. Like, where is that at? Like I want to see that elevation, not just the LED screens that are cool. And honestly, if you're not on like above where I was, if you're not me or higher, really, you can't really see on the top of that. So I know a lot of people on the floor are missing it, but I'm just saying like I don't know. And don't get me wrong, I say all this to say, like, there are so many great elements about his performance as well, right? I think when he did the dance mixes, I love that moment. Loved that moment. Loved it. And his whole thing was he was like, everybody stop. He even told some people, like, stop worrying about me. Stop looking at me. Stop. I want you to get in the groove. I want you to feel it. Oh, I was feeling it. Oh, the mixes were incredible.
Hey, sing for me.
but just it was just that groove. It gave me Uncle Waffles ish, that boom boom, like that moment, y'all, was so dope. It was so incredible. There's so many. Oh my goodness, the band breakdown, kind of marching band breakdown of Nice for What. I keep listening to that. I keep listening to that video I made because I love that cut. And then when he's walking down from the stage to go over to like where he has like the dance session, oh my goodness, like it just felt triumphant and like he was ready to take on the world. And one thing about Drake, he has so much energy. He be running around there jumping and he be having a good time. I think that's another thing I can say about this tour. He legitimately looked like he was having a good time. Like he was having so much fun up there. That's one thing I will say is he knows how to have a good time. And that is what I love about him. That is what makes his production and his performances so amazing, is because you feel like you are partying with Drake. You are going to party with Drake when you go to a Drake concert. I recommend everybody at least go to one Drake concert because it is one big party. Like you're going to party and you're going to have a good time and you're going to listen to all the cuts that you want to hear. Baby, Search and Rescue. I'm going to give y'all a snippet of this. I sound crazy and I want to post it solo, but y'all, it's so horrible. But I was up. Watch this.
Las Vegas, this your fucking part. As loud as you can, everybody.
Take me out the club. Take me out the trap. Take me out the market. Take me out the map. I'm trying to hit the group chat and tell them it's
Y'all better make some motherfucking noise for y'all.
Yeah, it's not my finest moment, but yo, I'm telling you, Drake will have you ready to jump off the Raptors. Okay, it was an incredible time, and just to see him have fun. 21, I have to say too. It wasn't just Drake's show, right? 21's as well. 21 did an incredible job. I always love 21 because I think vocally, 21 will rap every word. And he be up there just, it's something about his like confidence, but like his stoicism that just, he be up there doing it and he just be rapping it all and just be going and he don't do nothing but that. But it's something captivating about that, I must say. And I think the biggest thing is the fact that he literally raps almost every word. But like, I think that overall, performance wise, I'm gonna give him a 9. I'm gonna give him a 9 because I think that it was exactly what Drake does well. Amazing. And I don't think that there's anything he needs to necessarily change per se. I think maybe he could add some things to how he performs. I think that there are some better set lists that could be designed. I think that there could be a lot bigger of a production for sure. But performance wise, I still think that he's an amazing performer and I think it's so much fun and I think that he brings his all to it. I think that he's not slacking. He does give us the word. Oh, and I have to say before we move on, the vocals were vocaling when he was singing. And y'all, last but not least, we have the fandom, the energy. What was the energy like in that arena? Check it out for yourself. Yeah, the energy is unmatched, y'all. We be up. We be up in them arenas, y'all. We be up in them arenas, and that's why I want to see it in a stadium. I would love to see that in a stadium. Y'all, it's unmatched. Everybody was turned up. Everybody was having a good time. I be wildin'. I be wildin' at these concerts. At Drake, baby, I be up, ripping my vocal cords out, screaming, turned up. I know every word. I'm going. Now, sometimes I mess up the words. Absolutely. You know what I mean? I mess up words a lot sometimes. But, like, overall, though, I'm here. I'm dialed in. I be dialed in, baby. I be dialed in. I be dialed in, yo. I be dialed in. And that's all I'm saying is, like, the energy, the fandom that we be having in there, it be up. And he is literally just the professor. You know, he's the master of it. He just be stringing us along as we turn up with him. We just be, I like what Drake likes. I will say, this is one of the few times that I've been to a Drake show where everybody around me was lit. Everybody around me was lit. We was all up. We was having a good time. I met the most amazing girl. Her name is Maddie. She went somewhat by herself. She had bought some tickets, but then she got the tickets right under my seat, so the row right below me, and she gave the other ticket to her brother. And so they were sitting separately, but she was alone. But we clicked so well. We had such a good time. I will say there were some people who were not in their seats that weren't supposed to be there that were blocking her view. And over time, she was getting frustrated and irritated, so she moved. And then they told the security guards told her to move back to her seat, and she was like, "Yo, like these people aren't even supposed to be here. I'm sorry, guys." And they tried to get buck with her, which I don't appreciate. And I feel bad because at one point it was during the dance mix, and I was so lit and in the zone that I didn't know that when they left, they kind of said some things to her and were like being hella rude. For that, you're a mess. You're wrong. Like, why would you do that? Like, you're not in your seat. You're not supposed to be in that seat anyway. The fact that you made it this long you should be grateful. But like, you're in her way, and you don't even want to help aid her and like maybe sitting down or getting out the way so she can see. And now you got an attitude because you're mad that she had to let somebody know because her time is being ruined for tickets that she paid for. Yeah, no, didn't like that at all. So other than that though, that was really the only little hiccup. I will say too, like she was just the most pure-hearted, such sweetest person. I loved every bit of it. It was an amazing time hanging out with her. There was a homie behind me who was really dope. He was also turned up. He came by himself last minute, bought them tickets, and was like, "Hey, it's up. Let's go." And I do want to say this, even in that moment where we met him, there were some girls who weren't even supposed to be in the seats that were next to me, but they were like, "Hey, do you mind if we just stand here for one moment, please? And then we'll move." Absolutely, girl. Because I know you're not going to stay in my seat. Some of y'all be so pressed about them seats or a spot. And it's like, if somebody just wants a moment right here, fine. You're not going to cut me. I want a moment too. I want a moment too, baby. So I'm not moving. But like, you're more than welcome to get on in here. You know what I mean? Or if it was something like a show where maybe there's an opener that somebody else wants to see real quick and then they want to switch or whatever. Cool. Have that moment. So I let the girls go ahead and have their moment too. Because it was just like, why not show the wealth? That's fandom. That's fandom. Like, yo, like, cool. I'm not gonna take away from it. Ain't nobody in them back behind me, so skip it. You get to be closer. I don't know where your seats are, but as long as when he's done and I have to go back to my spot, you're not there, that's fine. You know what I mean? I don't care, girl. Go ahead, have your moment, do your thing. I'm not tripping at all. So I'm glad. I'm glad that those girls got to have their moments. There was even a dude during Sexy Red. I kind of was zoned out back, only focused on the immediate radius of me. But in Sexy Red, he was turned up like. Like the energy was just up. Sexy Red. I do have to add her also going back to the performance. Sexy Red did an amazing job. Sexy Red was fun. Sexy Red was ratchet as hell and lit, and I'm a Sexy Red fan. Love Sexy Red down. But yeah, the energy was great. I loved it all. I had so much fun inside that arena. Everybody was in good spirits, from the bartender to the security guards. Like, they were all cool. The woman that told me that Drake was even going to be coming down our road was cool. She told me, "Stay in your seat. Don't go nowhere." She was like, "Don't go nowhere, baby, because if you do, you're going to miss it." I said, "Yes, ma'am." And I had to tell everybody around me. There was a young girl, I think maybe her brother and her father, and I let her know, and she was like, "What?" And I said, "Yes, ma'am, he's coming." She said, "Dad." She switched with her. It was a black girl, black family. And she was like, "Dad, please, please, please." And she moved over to his spot. And she was like, "Thank you so much. Thank you." And I was like, "Don't go nowhere." Maddie, she had to go pee. I said, "Baby, you better hold it. Like your life depends on it, girl." And he ended up looking at her. So we had our moment, and then when he walked away, he did a double take and looked at my girl Maddie, and I said, "Go ahead, baby, go ahead." So y'all, I'm telling you, the fans, the Drake fandom, I want to call us the Parliament, because that's a group of owls, and I just feel like we are it. You know what I mean? Like, we're it. Parliament as far as the British Parliament, like snobby. But like, we just know who we are, and it is what it is, baby. We're the best, period, point blank. Don't get me wrong, the Beehive, y'all are different. Y'all on a whole nother level, or the Barbs, But I'm just saying, the Parliament, we could get this going. We could call this Parliament now. We could find something to work. But yeah, y'all, the fandom, the energy, what he brings, he has the crowd jumping. He has us live. He has us turned up and them up. We be up. in them arenas, y'all. Drake can get you lit like no other, and that's why I recommend you go to a Drake concert, period, hands down. So I'll give Fandom a 10. 10, 10, 10s across the board, okay? Fandom, we did well. We showed up. We showed out. We were ready. Jumbotron shit. My dude that was rapping that, good job. My dude that sold his or didn't get his furniture and got 50 grand. Congratulations to all the girls out there who have been getting purses. A high five to you. That Birkin, okay? The Chanel. Like, yeah, y'all are up. It's big up. So I think the Fandom won. We did a great job at the Vegas show. Shout out to y'all. Everybody that was at Vegas night 2. Like, it was up. It was a great time. And yeah, Fandom, you get 10s across the board. All right, Rody. So to finally wrap up, I guess if I was to give it a final score, I'd say I give It's All a Blur an 8.5. 8.5 if I remove the moment I had with Drake. If we put that in there, baby, it's 10, 10, 10s across the board. Once again, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. It's a million, okay? Yeah, that moment is unmatched in any concert experience I've ever had, ever. That moment was it. It will always live in history as my greatest concert moment ever. Well, maybe when we get in the stadium and I'm invited on stage or backstage, or to be in the real crowd, the must-sees and the who's who, when I'm up there with Travis and them, when they hanging out, yeah, that's where I will be. So that'll be a whole nother level. But I can say that this experience topped all of them. Thank you, Drake, for deciding to go down the aisles, and thank you for deciding to go down my aisle. Like, I appreciate it, and I'm glad I could hype you up before your show. I hope that gave you the energy and the momentum to say it's up, because honestly, I felt the energy the whole night. I felt like he felt that. I felt like he was like, it's up. So I pride myself, Vegas night 2, in getting Drake hype. Okay, so y'all are gonna see that in this video. Overall, it was an amazing show. I just see so much potential, and I see Drake going up. I see Drake being able to do so much more. I see him being able to fill out a stadium. I see him being able to bring the energy in a stadium and the production and the performance in a stadium, and that's what I need. I need it because we have just graduated to that point. We've graduated there, and I need it from him. I absolutely need it from him. So that's why I'm going to give him an 8.5. But the show was incredible. If you haven't gone yet, or you're still on the fence about going, there's a couple dates left. Please go. Spend your coin. You might as well. I say do it. You might as well. Now, they're going to be expensive, and you should have made that decision early on. Yeah, should have did that earlier, because I could have told you it was going to be up, baby. I could have told you it was going to be up, but you chose not to. But it's okay, because you still got time. You're just going to have to pay a lot more, and maybe not for that great of seats. But it is what it is. It is what it is, baby. Just go. Just pull the trigger and go, okay? But I loved it. I had so much fun at the show. I am going to go ahead and leave y'all with the full video of that experience. I'm not going to put in look what you've done. Maybe just a portion, but I don't want this video to get copywritten. So I'm not going to put all that. I'm just going to make a separate video with that specific experience, because it's like 8 minutes long. And I'll give that to y'all in a separate video later on. But for right now, I'm going to leave y'all with my moment with Drake. If you've made it this far, or you're just skipping ahead to see this portion of it, here's the moment that I had with Drake at It's All a Blur. Yeah, one of the greatest experiences I have ever had at a concert in my life. And out of all of the celebrities that I've been able to come in contact with and have a moment with, this is the most valuable. This is the most meaningful to me. And so, yeah, enjoy. And I'm not going to come back after the video. I'm going to let y'all end with this. But I'll see y'all on the next one. The Renaissance is coming. So be prepared. Yeah, that's in 2 weeks, y'all. Literally 2 weeks from me filming this. And I think 1 week after I post this. So, yeah, the Renaissance is coming. If you haven't subscribed, like, comment, subscribe. Make sure to do that, please. We need to go up, 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 so we can get more, so we can have better experiences. So y'all, come on, join the road trip. But without further delay, like I say, here's the beginning of Drake and my moment with him, and Look at What You've Done, the song that he performed as his opener. All right, roadies, I'll see you on the next one. Later.
Why did he get
absolutely.
it? What are you
I
looking
got
at me?
you. I
What
got
are you
you.
looking at me?
I got you. I got you.